I quit drinking alcohol for 30 days. Again. Well, it's hard to believe, but we are officially in 2026. And at the end of every year, we tend to spend lots of time during the holidays at parties, gatherings, work events, visiting with our family and friends over our winter breaks. And what do all these things typically revolve around doing? The answer? Drinking alcohol. And sometimes, just a little too much.
Jordan, please get up. Oh my God.
I already did this once before, so why am I doing it again? I've already proven to myself that I can go 30 days without alcohol. That's been done. This time, it's about trying to notice who I am without it. Ever since we were teenagers, alcohol is looked at like this holy substance.
Wow. It is a keg of beer.
Something we watch others enjoy while we grow up but can't obtain it ourselves.
Don't do it, kid.
So, we get fake IDs.
I am 11.
Try to get adults to buy it for us.
Would you mind buying this?
Would you like me to buy you alcohol?
And feel like we are always missing out on something. Then we turn 21 and the moment has come.
This isn't just any birthday, okay? This is your 21st birthday.
We finally get to join the party.
21.
Blackjack mother...
And for a lot of people, our interactions with others starts to revolve heavily around drinking. Because honestly, why wouldn't it? Society has made drinking one of the most socially convenient things. Everywhere you look, there it is. From gas stations to airports to movie theaters to the grocery store, it's in your face. And so many things we do revolve around alcohol. Networking events usually take place at bars. Happy hours, sporting events, birthday parties, retirement parties, weddings, holidays, bars and breweries on every single street corner. You're showing up and you're getting a drink in your hand. And the interesting thing is you never get asked why you're drinking. It's only when you're not drinking is when you get questioned. So in order to make it more acceptable, we have to come up with reasons to not drink.
We're 6 days into the new year, or dry January for some.
For some people, that means resolutions, maybe trying to give up alcohol this 2026.
At the start of the new year, they cut back on alcohol.
And if you're feeling hungover from the holidays or looking to improve your health, dry January just might be right for you.
Many people try to take place in events like dry January or sober October, for example, as a way to give your body a little bit of a rest from consuming alcohol. And in fact, it's actually surprising, but just 30 days of cutting out alcohol is linked to many different benefits. And honestly, it's not a bad way to kickstart your new year by taking a little break and hitting that reset button after all the indulging we just did over the year-end holidays. Alcohol. It's something millions of people consume every day. So I mentioned earlier that I've done this before, and I have. Years ago, I made a video documenting myself not drinking for 30 days. I posted it to this channel, and in fact, it went on to be the most successful and popular video that I've ever posted to date. And according to a lot of the comments I got, seemed to really help a lot of people, or just gave them a different perspective on drinking alcohol. So I thought to myself, well, 6 years older, what would it be like to give this another try? But kind of maybe take it from a different perspective. Because back then I thought it was just alcohol that's the problem. But this time, I'm not so sure it's just that simple.
I've heard people say, I never suffered from alcoholism until I got sober. The drinking alcohol and taking drugs is not the disease. Mm-hmm. That is, if anything, a remedy for the disease.
Yeah. So over the course of this experiment, I've been taking a little bit of a deeper dive on the effects of not drinking and some questions that I've been having for myself, such as, do I just drink because I want to, or because I'm bored and it's convenient? Or because I'm sad and I'm trying to numb something? Or is it just an easy coping skill? Or is it just nice to come home after a long day and have a glass of wine, or sit on your porch and have a nice glass of whiskey? Is it just you know, something that's nice to do and you enjoy it. And I think there's a very fine line when it comes to drinking. And I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with. Which side of the line are you on? This month I've been trying to eat cleaner, get back into exercising for the first time in a while, and take more notice on certain things, such as my productivity. Have I noticed myself being more productive because I'm not waking up hungover, especially on the weekends? You know, what's my sleep like? Have I noticed myself having more energy? Have my anxiety levels gone down at all? These are all things to take notice of. Like I said, rather than just solely focusing on the abstaining of alcohol, I'm trying to focus more on myself and my body, my mental well-being, because these things are really important. So when I do these kind of challenges, I like to keep notes in my phone from week to week to, you know, just keep track of everything. So let's dive into week 1. First off, I drank a lot during the holidays and I ate a lot, didn't count a single calorie, and I basically came into the new year and just flipped my life upside down. I'd honestly say I went through what you'd probably consider some withdrawal. I got really moody and irritable. I felt kind of shaky and weird around the 4 o'clock midday time. I got a lot of cravings late nights for snacks and junk food and things like that. It really only lasted kind of intensely like that for a couple days and then kind of fizzled out. But I also noticed that my sleep was pretty poor, was having trouble falling asleep, and then I would sleep in later than I wanted to. So it was definitely playing an effect on me in the first week. Also a couple life things. My first day back to work, I work at a bar. Some of my coworkers got off work and they sat at the bar and they had a drink, and I just went home. I didn't join them because it's awkward to just sit there and be the only one not drinking, and you know, I didn't want any temptation, so I just left. And then a couple days later, my cousin reached out to me and asked if I wanted to go meet him for a happy hour drink, and I could have went and just, you know, got a seltzer or a Coke or something, but it was so early in this challenge that I just was like, you know what, I can't, man, you know, and I declined as well. And it made me realize really quick, well, you got to figure something out here, because you can't just say no to everybody, and it really limits your social life. So for me, I've just been coming home and trying to find creative outlets and things to do, like working on videos or watching movies or things like that to keep my brain occupied and keep myself busy. I started putting all of my energy into being as productive as I could. Between working on my videos, working on my health, and working at my food and bev job, I basically have zero downtime. Going into week 2 and 3, I noticed myself really craving social interaction. So Sarah and I went over to our friend's house. Who's ready to party? My non-alcoholic beer. We picked up some non-alcoholic beer to take, which honestly I've actually never had before. Surprisingly, it was really good. So week 2 was a pretty good week for me. Things started to level out. My sleep started to get a little bit better. I'd never really done great with sleep, but I was feeling more motivated than I typically do. I was being a lot more productive. I did notice myself having a bit more energy and wanting to do things more rather than just like laying on the couch lethargic like you would after a day of heavy drinking. My head felt a little bit clearer, able to think of like more ideas and thoughts and stuff for like my videos and things like that. While it is challenging to go over to, you know, someone's house where a group of people are all together drinking and stuff like that, and you feel like the outcast, you realize that it's not just about the alcohol. There's more important things to that. It's just nice to be around people, to socialize, to talk, to mingle. Is it convenient to grab a beer and join the party? Yes, but it does put a kind of a perspective on yourself when you challenge yourself and you can stick to that challenge. You feel more proud of yourself at the end of the day. Going into week 3, I started a new job. Yes, on top of everything that I just said before. So 2 food and bev jobs right now, my YouTube stuff, I have my media company I'm working on, and just dealing with the overloads of mental health. And I just worked 14 straight days in a row, and I can't lie, coming home after a long day and just cracking open a beer, taking a bath, or watching a movie and just winding down and relaxing is helpful. I can't lie. I enjoy it. I look forward to it. It is helpful for me. I like it. And to not be able to do that is challenging. And I'm realizing that I use it more as a coping mechanism than I guess I thought I really do. Because there's a lot of times this month that probably would have just casually grabbed a beer. Now, 1 or 2 beers, I'm not getting drunk, but it's something that I do crave and look forward to. Just got into Elements, Long Pond, Pennsylvania, up by Philly in the Poconos Mountains, 2025. I absolutely love concerts. I love festivals. I love going to events. Honestly, they're like some of my favorite things to do ever. And I really crave social interaction a lot. So it's also surprising for me to say that I deal with a lot of social anxiety. And I get it. They're all just these dumb things that I've invented in my head, feelings of just the fear of being disliked or being judged or saying something stupid or sounding stupid, just feeling claustrophobic at times. I'm gonna be honest with you, whenever I have a couple drinks, all of that goes way down. And I feel finally exactly how I wanna feel. I don't feel that heightened feeling I always carry around. I feel less critical of myself and more accepting. I feel looser and I'm able to open up more and I feel more like myself. And when you take that away, you're faced with just, facing everything head on. And you have 2 choices. You can either go out in the world and seek discomfort and fight through that anxiety until it becomes normal, or you can sit in your house and do nothing and become a hermit. And I'm not going to do that. So it's definitely been a challenge, and can be a challenge for a lot of people. Also, something I realized again while making this video that I talked about in my last video. Here's an example. Went out with my cousin for lunch. He got 2 beers. His girlfriend got a glass of wine. I got water. While it was challenging to not be included, they got their bill and theirs was like $25 more than mine was, because when you don't spend money on alcohol, you save a lot of money. Especially here in Charleston when beer's like $7 or $8. You don't realize all these little times that it would have added up to accumulate to spending a lot of money. So you cut out alcohol, you got more money in your pocket. I've also noticed that it's really nice to not be hungover on the weekends. I mean, wake up, go grab a cup of coffee, go thrift shopping. I've had some nice days that I would have probably spent on the couch just taking 30 naps and watching Netflix. And while that's fine every once in a while, it's not fun to just clunk all day long and just feel miserable. And it made me think, do I drink alcohol more because I like it and I want to, or because I'm trying to avoid or numb something? It put a lot more perspective on things for me throughout this month. Times where I would have just casually grabbed a beer or gone out to dinner and got a beer when you don't really need to. Just these certain times where I've realized, I can do this without alcohol. Moving forward, kind of maybe limiting it more towards just special events rather than your random beer here and there, when it's a birthday or when somebody's having like a get together, more on a special event, and taking note of how much you're drinking when you are. For me, it's put a lot more perspective on my drinking habits and my social interactions throughout this month. I hope that something I've said or shown throughout this video can resonate or help somebody that watches. Maybe you can relate to it. Maybe you've gained some sort of information. And I really appreciate you for watching. I'm excited to do more challenges with myself throughout this new year. And come on back, subscribe so you can see those. And I'll see you in my next video. Peace out.